Hi guys, welcome back to Taller Doodles. So today's episode is going to be on the very famous poppet. Okay, so I had many parents asking me, as you all know that I deal with special needs. I'm in this field for around 10 years and more now. So I had many parents come up to me and ask me whether the poppet is it for special needs children only, or will my child be judged if they are seen in school with a poppet. And I just felt it was very important to address this teeny weeny issue. But I personally feel that the poppet's an amazing tool for not only kids, not only babies, even adults, even grown-up adults like us. So I personally would recommend you to go out there, maybe not during COVID times, but you sit at home and order it on Amazon. It's so easily available on Amazon, and you get it in different shapes, in different colors, an easily distracting tool for your young ones. So today I'm going to show you all many things that you all could do with the poppet, and I myself call it the PDF version. So the P is for pop, the D is for drop, and the F is for freeze. So like I said, it's called the PDF version. I'm going to give you all many activities that you all could do with the poppet with your children, and make it exciting. It could be a learning game as well. So I'm going to start with you start with PDF, right? So you start with pop. So what you can do is, like I said, the one I bought for my kid is the round one. It's colorful, and see how it looks. It's so amazing. And so you just ask them to pop it. You can so it's more of it makes this very delicate sound, which is very exciting for the ears of the little ones, even for us. Like, you know, it's like these, I don't know whether you'll have played with bubble wrap when you all were small. So it's super exciting. I loved playing with bubble wrap when I was small. So this is something that I could just sit and watch TV, and I could just keep popping it for minutes on end, maybe not hours, but it's more exciting for kids, let's be honest. But of course, I know of many adults who have played with it, and you know, just as a distracting tool for when they are thinking about something or when they are anxious, it really helps them calm down. So I've got a few things over here that I'm going to show you all. Different ideas. You all can use it differently. It's just few ideas that came to my head, and so I would use these. I have these eyeball stickers that I use very often with my 3-year-old son, because he loves these. They look a little scary to me, but he loves them. Kids find anything interesting, to be honest. I usually put it on them, and I tell him, okay, pop the ones which has the eye. You can always show it like, okay, fine. So I'm going to go to the yellow section. Go to the yellow line and pop 4. So you're teaching them addition, 1 2 3 4, and okay, now how many are left? So how many bubbles are left? So you can say, okay, 1 and 2. So you know, many teachers I know are using it to teach their children addition and subtraction, and a lot of other things, even skip counting for that matter. So I personally use this with my kid. I usually have these Uno cards. I'm sure all of you all have Uno cards with you all. So you all could use these to support your game with poppet, and or just these anything which has numbers or anything on it, if you want to do addition and subtraction with your kid. So I can say, okay, number 5 green color, so go to number 5 and pop 5 green. So you know, he pops 1 2 3 4 5, and then I go to maybe 4 yellow. So he goes to the yellow line and he pops 4 1 2 3 4, and that's how it is. So even you can use these small cards, anything, like I said, anything. I'm sure all of you all must be having you know, you get, it's very easily available now, numbers and letters available in shops. So just pick up any of these and just show this to them, and they can pick up, especially the young kids who's just learning to start counting from 1 to 10. This is a fantastic game for them. And now, like I said, for the skip counting, which you can use it for multiplication, starting of multiplication as well. Like for example, you show them a yellow card, so you know, you say skip. So if you want to do, okay, so 1 and then skip. Oops, the blue one came out. And another one and skip, 1 and skip. So you know, you're skipping, they learn the concept. Now for letters, so what I do with my 3-year-old is I usually write letters on it. again, this is very easily washable, and the marks that you make on it go immediately when you wipe it with a wet cloth, or even with you get these cotton wipes or wet wipes that you use for babies. So they are very easily, this max you could use a sanitizer on it and wipe it clean, so that's also fine. And so just write a letter. What I usually do is, my son is just beginning to learn sight words, so what I usually do is I write sight words that he knows. So I make like a crossword for him. So I put the, and then I put, okay, H-A-T, hat, like this, and just make like a crossword, or I put different words, or I put different letters, and then I tell him to pop okay, pop hat. So then he pops at hat, or the H, like the. So he knows the spelling, and then so just make like a crossword in it. Like I said, this is an orange, this is a circle one, but you get different shapes. You get a square one, so it'll be more easy. You can make a crossword more easily in that one. Yeah, and I'll show you how easily it is to wipe off. So yeah, that's it. I just used a normal, it's not even a wet wipe, it's just a normal tissue which I wet, and you can easily wipe it off. So you can, I'm going to be continuing to use this even with my students with special needs who have difficulty remembering spellings or spelling out names. I'm going to be using it to for their spellings. I'm going to be making crosswords and giving them different phonic sounds, and I'm going to be asking them to pop it on this, because it definitely makes it more interesting for them. So now we're going to move on to the drop activity from my PDF version. So it's the drop activity. So what I'm going to do is you can use any kind of these are tongs from the kitchen. You could use a spoon, and I had something else here. Yeah, I had this, like it's like a paper clip. You can use even a clothes clip that you could, whichever your child finds easy to use. And because don't get overexcited and use everything with your child, because it spoils the whole fun element of the game then. So let them use whatever they're comfortable with, give them options, and let them use whatever they're comfortable with. So what I do is I have marbles, or I have different kinds of what do you call these, beans that we use in Indian cooking. So we use these, and I tell them to, okay, pick it up, oops, and then place it in maybe yellow. You can use, again, it's color coordinated, so you can you can tell them, okay, put it in yellow, or put it in the 4th one of yellow, or put it in the 5th one of green. So you can use different instructions. You're working on your child's listening skills and listening to instruction skills as well at the same time. So pick up, maybe for the marble this wouldn't be very appropriate, so I would use something big like this to pick up a marble, and I would say, okay, David, put it on the 3rd one of orange. So he counts 1, 2, 3, and drop, and drop. Okay, so that's how easy it is. It makes it fun, so you can use it. It falls very easily into the cute molds that they have, the cute rubber molds. So it's very interesting to see it. And yeah, like I said, I also have this tiny little spoon that I use with David, and you can just scoop out maybe 2 or 3. If you want, give them a number, they have to pick up 3 and put it in the puppet. So you could also do a lot of blowing exercises which help with your oral coordination, and it helps the child develop speech, and a lot of other things are related to it. So you can do a lot of these exercises as well. So I keep it on the first thing, and then I simply have to blow. So that's it. So it very cutely went from the first one all the way till the 6th one. So I just have to keep blowing, and it goes all the way to the last one. So you could also have races and stuff. If you have your kids' friends coming home, you could have a race with them. Just think out of the box and do whatever makes you happy, and what challenges your kid. That's what I usually do with David. So you can use beans, you can use chana, you can use even these. I have these small, really tiny balls that I use for activities with David, and I can use these as well. So I use these as well. Another thing that David loves to do is he loves water games. You must have seen my previous videos where I do a lot of water games with David. It's mainly a sensory activity, and the guy loves water games. I mean, let's be honest, which kid doesn't like water games? So he does a lot of learning through water, and so he fills this up, and he can usually aim it like that. He aims it into the correct color or the number that I tell him. Maybe I can, with my marker, I can name a thing, and instead of popping it, if he's bored of it, he can simply shoot water onto it. It gets cleaned automatically. So that's another plus point of using any water gun. You could use anything. Okay, and another drop thing that I was talking about. So everyone knows about this. This is something very, very common that you get in your child's medicine bottles. So I'm gonna keep this tiny bowl of water here, and I'm gonna put in water, and I'm going to drop it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So your child in the beginning, especially if they are very young, they don't have a very good grip on their fine motor skills. So they might end up, at least my son ends up putting a lot of water, like he might press it really hard, and a lot of water goes into it. So you have to demonstrate and show them how much water has to be put and how much, so that they understand how much pressure they put on their fingers. This also helps in finally holding a pencil and how much pressure they need to hold a pencil also. So tell them, do it very, very gently, hold it carefully, and show them how much water is dropping off from your this, so that they see exactly how much they have to do it. So demonstration is always the key. Visual learning is always better. I always tell my parents of special needs, so they learn better visually. I mean, I learn better visually, so I always do a visual learning when I have to learn something. So that's another thing. You can use this, drop it. And now for the most awesome part. Oh, I forgot one thing. Another thing you could do, I'm going to dry this. I'm going to put all this water away. Okay, I didn't have a cloth with me, so yeah. All right. Another thing, so I also have these balls. I also have these, I'm sure, again, these are like normal balls that you get in a store, and different colorful balls. So again, this is something now I always this is a technique that I use with my special needs students. So if my children cannot count on their fingers, many of them struggle to count on their fingers, and even small children, they still struggle till about 4, 5. Some may have the difficulty till about 6, 7 years of age. So don't force them to count on their fingers, because it is something that develops over age. Don't stress about it, but you could always use counting hard objects, like objects that they can see and they can feel and touch, because that really helps them to understand. So they have to look at the balls and they have to say, okay, pick up the 3 balls. And okay, how many balls are there? So I've given a mixture, like there are exactly 4. I don't know whether you all can see it. There are 4 blue balls, 1 green ball, and 3 yellow balls. So I tell him, okay, how many yellow balls are there? So he counts 1, 2, and 3. So there are 3 yellow balls. Okay, so pop 3 yellow, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, how many green balls are there? So he looks and he counts. Okay, there's 1 green ball. So I pop 1 green. So that's how it goes, So like I said, don't force them, even if you're teaching them how to count, don't force them to count on their fingers or count the way that we learned when we were back in school. There are a lot of different playful ways to get your child to count. All right. And now for the last part of the video, it's going to be the freeze part. The freeze part comes as the last part of my PDF version. So freeze. Now, what do you mean by freeze? What am I going to do? Can you all guess? So I'm going to put water or something funny in it and give it and freeze it up, and I'm going to give it to David, and I'm going to see how he enjoys it. Of course, I've cleaned it very, very well with warm water and washed it nicely, so I can whatever goes into it can be put into my son's mouth. So ensure this is very, very clean. So what I've done is I've bought gems, these cute little Smarties, and I'm going to put one of them into each, and then I'm going to put a drop of milk into each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now I'm going to take a little milk. Gosh, David's going to be so excited. And I'm going to simply drop around 2-3 drops. Okay, so as you can see, the milk has covered the gems, and simply like this you could use anything under the sun that could go with milk. I could also use maybe chocos, or maybe pomegranate seeds, or raisins. David loves raisins, so I would think of raisins with milk, and just simply freeze it. So another thing that I would do is I would to make it more colorful. Of course, you cannot mix the anything edible with the paints, but I could use painted water. Like I mix paints with water, and I could add them to it, so you get these really beautiful colorful balls along with it, and that also looks very beautiful. But remember to tell your child not to eat it, because David is someone who sometimes still, when he finds something really cool, he tries to put it in his mouth to taste it, which many kids do, which is absolutely normal again. That's the way they learn, that's the way they explore, and I never stop him from doing it. Of course, it's important to tell them that something is not good and something is not right, so that they are aware of what the consequences are. So yeah, so I'm going to put this into the fridge now, and I'm going to see David's reaction. Please join me. Going in the freezer. So in about 45 minutes we can get it out.
What is it? What?
Now you can remove it. Break it up.